mengi tuliyokuandalia. Na moja kwa moja tuanze na taarifa hii ambapo shughuli za masomo katika shule za sekondari zimevurugwa kwa wiki nzima sasa kufuatia mgomo unaoendelea wa walimu walio chini ya muungano wa KUPPET. Kulingana na katibu mkuu wa KUPPET Akelo Misori, mpango mzima wa walimu kugoma ni kuhakikisha matakwa yao yanatekelezwa. Kwa upande wake, katika mkuu wa muungano wa NAT Collins Oyu anasema kuwa wakulaumiwa ni tume ya huduma za walimu TSC kwa kukosa kufuatilia hatua ya walimu. Wawili hao walikuwa wanahojiwa asubuhi ya leo kwenye kituo cha Spice FM.
Tenets, like you've admitted to, of the CBA, but now they're playing hardball.
Right.
Why?
Now, I think TSC, where they sit, they have actually implemented the second phase of the CBA. If they didn't, you are right to go to court. And in that case, court would have forced Teacher Service Commission to comply. And because they feared we would go to court about this, they simply complied. And as I told you, teachers have earned their second phase in arrears, July and
August.
You're saying this money has been paid?
It has been paid.
Let me ask the question. There was a delay, there was a threat that was occasioned by that notice. Is it that the TSC genuinely did not have the money, or is it that for some reason or the other they did not prioritize this?
I think it was not a delay.
Yes.
July 1st and our pronouncement in August, that was no delay. They totally refused to pay. They didn't pay. It was not a delay. A delay can be a couple of maybe days and weeks, and you tell us now there's a delay.
Yeah.
They literally refused to comply. The second phase was to commence on the 1st of July.
Tell us a little bit about the second phase.
Yes.
What were the details of this second phase?
The second, the CBA 2021-2025
Yes.
was cashless. Cashless. There was no monetary value at all.
Yes. We're talking about things like
yes,
leaves, specifically paternity leave,
yes,
such things
and
like this, yeah.
There was, based on the COVID-19, that was explanation from SRC, that with the impact of the COVID-19, now the Salaries and Remuneration Commission has directed that new CBAs shall not have any cash component. We accepted after deliberations, but we pegged our hope in the review clause of the CBA, which came in 2023. The review clause gave a monetary gain of the CBA at 2.5 to 9%, which was spread in 2 years. And we signed. Then the agreement was, this shall be paid in 2 phases. Phase 1 was paid in January last year. Phase 2 was to commence in July this year. By the end of July, there was nothing. There was nothing. We got into August. Then we were asking Teacher Service Commission, what did we agree? What was the agreement? Where is phase 2? Are you stopping us from commencing the new CBA 2025-2029 by stopping the payment of the second phase? Now, when the worst came to the worst, and we made a pronouncement of the industrial action.
Yeah.
Very quickly, Teacher Service Commission went around looking for money. They first called us, they told us, no, look at the Finance Bill 2020. We told them, no, that is not our business. We made an agreement. This was deposited in a court of law, the Employment and Labor Relations Court. Please comply. Comply. We cannot run away from this. You go look for money. I don't know where Teacher Service Commission got the money. And it is now paid in arrears. Teachers have earned their July bit, and the August salary has the second phase implemented. Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting that something that on the face of it we were discussing, it seems fairly simple and straightforward. Well, it isn't, and it can't be, because of the number of times that your union and KUPPET have actually spoken clearly and said, look, if these matters that we agreed upon are not met, this is where I'm going with my question, my thinking. Must it get to the point where there is a strike notice for the TSC to do what it knows very well it's supposed to do, because they also agreed to do that? They signed off on it.
Correct.
Everything about it.
Correct.
They were part and parcel of
You're
it.
right, you're
Yes.
right. And that is the same question we're asking. Must we give a strike notice so that we have peace? What is happening? So even in our further discussions with Teacher Service Commission, I think we should take this seriously. Look at the situation in our schools now. Who is to blame? Is it the unions of Teacher Service Commission?
No, I don't think so.
It is Teacher Service Commission, because if you agree, surely comply.
Right.
Must we pronounce a strike action?
I want to.
Because they did not want KUSNET to be part of the discussion.
The discussion.
In fact, with us, we had not known why this one was an issue. But apparently this one was a strategy to suck us deeper into the war. Now the war began. The Teacher Service Commission gave us a word that we now have the money to pay.
Okay.
Full implementation.
Okay.
And then we said, where is it?
We want to see it.
We want to see the implementation schedule, because Teacher Service Commission is an enabled commission and independent, which works with. If they were looking for money to implement the CBA, then they had already worked on how it works. So it was not there. But the Teacher Service Commission wanted us to address a joint press, which both of us refused. So we left.
Yeah.
And we
because you had not seen tangible move towards implementation
of the CBA.
Okay. All right.
Secondly, there were also others, which himself is the one who summarized that we have 4 other issues. These 4 other issues, what are you saying about them? At some stage, there were emotions. And then they said, no, what was cut crossing is now given. What else do you want? I want to indicate here that the relationship between an employer and employee in that social dialogue platform is that one of equality.
Yes.
It is not that one of God giving a human being a covenant. That one is called a suzerain. He read theology. I know, because he was almost becoming a priest. If it was not because of this kind of behavior. So what happened? They read that we have given you an employer. Then he said, if you are an employer, good. But how are you going to handle the following? That one was also just in word. So that's why we are where we are. So we both sides moved. In fact, they were very fast. And we compared notes. They moved and called their steering committee. They met. I also met my board.
Yeah.
He told me they are calling their NEC, and according to them, they are not satisfied.
Why would there be conversations in silos when there was a joint notice of strike?
That is why I'm talking about treachery. Yeah, and in fact, dishonesty of the highest order. But that one is granted because we are political formations. Anything can happen.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you saying that the monies that were promised, your members did not receive? Were any payments made, or is there evidence that any payments were made?
There was no payment up to yesterday. Up to yesterday, when there is proof that there is payment. Some banks have received the money, but not all the banks.
Okay.
By yesterday. But that day we were talking at Kenya School of Government, the CEO to the commission was in a hurry to leave to go and pay teachers. And it was not paid also. Even out of the time, we were now asking our members to make a decision on industrial action. There was no payment. There was no proof, there was no circular which could convince them that this thing has been done.
So, Akelo, what you were waiting for in this sense is if there had been some proof, even somebody has said, Nime Bonyeza sent, that, you know, money then has been paid. Are you saying that we would have said, okay, guys, there's some goodwill. We have seen that something at some level has been done. Come back to school?
That is always a consideration we make when a move has occurred. That consideration I cannot be in control of because I am a mouthpiece of an organ or organs of the organization. I don't need to load it on them because that is what happens. So even if that one had happened, there were a host of other issues which there were still gray areas. Now let me just tell you another issue, because in the interest of the child, which my brother would want to drum upon us, I don't know whether they are better teachers than us. That one is one. But who has made concessions in this? If the Teacher Service Commission is genuine in this, we are in a relationship. In fact, if they have gone to court, they have secured court orders and so on. That one I cannot discuss its merit because it will have it light in court.